Hey guys, Ramsey here with the Rajathon YouTube channel, and it is February 28th, so we will do the February wrap-up, March TBR. Might finish one more book, but it is unlikely. I'm very much enjoying it. It's The Crystal Shard by R.A. Salvatore, and it's considered YA. It's about Drist, the lone drow, and he is training a young barbarian boy, and just the interaction between him and his companions, and I really am enjoying it, and I understand why many people like it. So let's start out with what I read in February, and then we will jump into what I'm currently reading and what I plan to read in March. It was a slower than usual month. I only read 7 books in February, but I had a pretty long vacation in the West Coast. So enjoyed it quite a bit, had a lot of fun on vacation, ended up finishing reading the book. I'll talk about that in a minute. First book I finished was Wizard and Glass by Stephen King. It's right here. This is an amazing book. This is one of the illustrated editions. I have all of them except for book 5, Wolves of the Kala, which I will read in April. And I am just so amazed by how good this series is. This book goes into the interaction between young Roland and the love of his life, Susan Delgado. The relationship is hinted at in the first couple books, and then finally Roland breaks down and tells his story. And so this is mostly a book about Roland's story. You still get part of the blame the train part in the beginning, and then they finally go and they have a palaver and they sit down and they tell this story. It's so good. I'll do a full review on it soon. I'm really excited to just dive into my thoughts on this one because it was so good. Book 2 for the month was a reread. This is Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. Read this when I was very young. Might have been right out of high school. Enjoyed it again. The prose is fantastic. Just the level of detail that is put into characters and the things that go on with this character's life. There's hard things happen early on, and then after that you learn more about the characters. There's people you just hate because they treat a young man so poorly just because he was born in a certain way. I'll do a full review on it soon because I really enjoyed this book. Number 3 was Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. So I will put a link up in the cards. I did do a review on this one. It was one of the ones I did actually get around to making a video on this week, or this month. I've only done 4 videos this month, and one of them was a live stream. I am definitely slacking on videos. In March, I'm going to try to do 2 to 3 a week, and kind of catch up on the things that I just need to catch up on. So Their Eyes Are Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston is amazing. I thought I was just going to read it because it was so culturally significant, and ended up enjoying reading it because it was so good. I found myself really enjoying the characters. Janie has 3 marriages through her life, and we're meeting her at the end of her 3rd, and she's telling her story to a friend. There's a lot of fuzz in this room for some reason. I don't know what it is. We cleaned the carpet down here, and now like the carpet's all fuzzy. But really, Janie's story is fantastic and amazing, and I am so excited to share that review with you guys. It's linked up above and in the description. Really good book, and I kind of did a casual review on it. Spoilers all the way through it, so if you have not read the book and you don't want any spoilers whatsoever, or if you just want, I don't spoil it as much in the beginning. You kind of watch the beginning and kind of see like the style of it. But next was Vile Artistry. I'll show you a picture here. I was sent this book on Kindle from June Chevalier, the author. Really good book. I found it a little bit harder for me to read. It doesn't have the flowing word style like a Sanderson or a Brent Weeks or like Brian McClellan, where you can just fly through that book. It had a very purple prosy. You had to kind of digest it a little bit slower. And so it did take me about 2.5 months to finish when I got around to it. There was like a month in the middle there where I didn't pick it up because I was just so busy. So this month I actually sat down and really got into it and dug into it and learned so much more about the character. Lila is your main character. She meets a bunch of people. She goes through a bunch of struggles. She comes from a matriarchy, and gets adopted by a duke. And so there's things in her backstory that are very intense. she has like a dark power that you learn about as you go. You learn about the consequences of that. And she's coming from a pure matriarchy where she never had a father. She didn't know who her father was. It was kind of one of those fathers are not important in that society. And then she comes into a world where she's adopted by a man who is a caring, loving father who has other children. And so she sees the interactions between him and his children, and he interacts with her, and she has to learn to have a father. As how old? I think she's 17, if I remember correctly. She's 17, and so she's learning to have a father and bounce ideas off of him, and it was really interesting the way that was handled. It's the first book in a series, from what I've understood, and I hope to do an interview with the author, kind of give a little bit more info on this, so that you guys can see if it's something you might want to pick up. There's only 2 reviews on Goodreads right now. One of them is mine, and so I think people will enjoy this. It wasn't my particular style of book, and I enjoyed it. So I think it would be a good pick if people wanted to support a self-published author who is a first-time author. There are a couple bumps here and there where things could have been done much better. There were times in the description where it slowed the story down a lot, and then there were times where the description was perfect. So I think the farther that June Chevalier gets in this series, I think they'll just get better and better and better as they go along. So I'm excited to read the other books in the series, and we'll move on to the next one, which was Mouse. This was a graphic novel. It is about a father learning his son's story and telling it as the Jewish people are mice, and the Nazis are rats, and the Polish people are pigs. And so it's his story about how he survived World War II. How, even though going to Auschwitz, he was able to survive and make it through. This is book 1 of 2 that tells the whole story, and I think it is amazingly honest. Amazingly honest. Next is Relentless, book 5 in the Lost Fleet series. We're doing a read-along on the channel. Just go into the Discord and join us if you want. Books are short. If you have some time dedicated, you can catch up with us. I've heard the audiobooks are narrated very, very well. I have not read any of the audiobooks. I've done them all physically. But I would assume Carl from Geek in My Sleep, which is also a great channel, I'll link him down below, and Admiral Star Knight, they are both listening to it on audiobook, and then me and Unity and Rowdy Bob Jr. are reading it physically. And the series is just so good. We're coming to a point where this was probably a 4-star book, and we're coming to a point where we're getting close to home. The Lost Fleet is almost unlost, and it was really, really good. I'm going to do a spoiler-filled series wrap-up eventually, and just talk about my thoughts through the whole series. And then once we finish book 6, we're going to jump into the second series, where it seems like we go right back into the thick of battle. So really excited to share that with you guys. We're doing a live stream coming up in maybe today. I'll have to look and see if that's on the schedule for today, and I will talk to you guys about that in the Discord, and I'll try to share it somewhere else too. Alright, and last book was a book that I hadn't really even planned on. If you guys, I'll link it up above, a series that I plan to reread, Magic of the Recluse. Found it on Hoopla. Hoopla had it in like a graphic audio edition, and then once I started reading the graphic audio edition, which I didn't enjoy, I went ahead and actually found the entire audiobook and was like, yes, I have the right audiobook. So did it in audiobook and then followed along in the book physically. This is a story about a young man named Laris, and Laris is bored. He's 15, and so his mom and dad, his mom's a potter, his dad is kind of like a scholar at the university, and so they send him to his uncle to learn woodworking. They're like, they have a very strict idea on this planet where, they have a very strict idea on this island called the island of Recluse. And so if you do not have a job in a position and you're not a productive part of society, they send you off island. You're not allowed to be there anymore. Basically, imagine like Hawaii and everybody had to work or they get kicked off. And so he's on this island and he's just bored. And so his mom and his dad send him to his uncle Sardit. and to be an apprentice woodworker. He's good at it, but he doesn't put his heart into it. And so finally they're like, look, we're going to have to send you to do this thing called a danger guild. And basically, imagine a walkabout where if you do not find your purpose in life, you have to stay off the island forever. And so he very early on gets some training, learns a little bit of weapon craft, is given some money, and they say basically, all right, we're sending you to this big island, and I'll put a map up right now. So the tiny island over here is Recluse, and the big island is the island he goes to. And he's supposed to go across the mountains and find something that he needs to find. And then we get to the end of the book, and he is surprised by what he finds. I'll say as spoiler free as I can. He's surprised by what he finds. And so I remember why I love this so much. It's a young man who needed some motivation in his life, finds it through journeying, which is one of my favorite things about fantasy. Is 9 times out of 10 the stories are a journey story. I enjoy traveling with people. I enjoy going from one city to another, learning about the cities. I'm going to do a spoiler-filled review on this one. It is just so daggone good. It's as good as I remember. Man, I can't wait to keep going on the series. This one actually, this is the new covers. The old covers, I'll put up an old cover right now, right here. The new covers actually, I don't know if you can see this really well, but they tie together. So it's one picture between 3 books. So you put the 3 books next to each other, and it's one picture. I don't have that one for the second one, the Towers of Sunset. I have the old cover. But I think that's really cool how they tied that all together and did that. That was really awesome, I think. All right, so videos I did in February. I did the January wrap-up and February TBR, going over what I did. I did the book addiction tag, hadn't done the tag in a while, and then went on vacation, and the day we got back, vacation was weird, and it kind of threw a couple things. We did the first presidential live stream. If you guys want to go check that out, me and Chrissy Lewis did it. The presidential live stream was really great. We talked a lot about George Washington after reading that book. So go watch that, check it out, see what you think about the presidential live stream. I'll link it below as well. And then the last one that I did was Their Eyes Were Watching God, which I've already talked about. The only book I reviewed this month, and I need to get better about reviewing books. I have a whole list of books that I wrote down here that I need to review. Dreamer's Pool, Southern Ladies Book Club Guide to Slaying Vampires, Hyperion, Washington, A Life by Ron Chernow, The Color of Magic, Red Rising, Color of Law, Color of Compromise, Rhythm of War, The Poppy War, Crime and Punishment, Berserk, The Magic of Recluse, and Assassin's Apprentice. Like, I have to do my book reviews. And I've got a whole list of tags that I've been tagged in that I got to do. So I'm going to work on that this month. 2 to 3 videos. Hopefully I am good at it, and they are fun and interesting for you guys to watch and enjoy. So books I'm still working on. Gardens of the Moon by Stephen Erickson. I'm struggling to sit down and actually read it. I don't know why. I know the next book starts in March. I will not be able to catch up. Hopefully I can finish it this month, and when everybody is kind of on the off month of April, I can read Dead House Gates, I believe is the second book, and catch up to the read-along. Struggling with it, so that's not working out as well as I wanted. 12 Kings of Shankiri is on my Kindle. Enjoying that quite a bit. I've had a hard time sitting down reading. I don't know why. Audiobooks are the only reason I got a couple books done this month. The only physical book I read was the Lost Fleet book. Orconomics I'm working on. It's kind of like a satire-y, fun take on Dungeons and Dragons and questing, but you're in the world. The Brothers Karamazov. I'm still working on that. I'm way behind everybody doing the read-along. Really having a hard time just getting my time together to read that one. I didn't find it as good as Crime and Punishment at this point, so we'll see how I feel about it. And then The Crystal Shard, I've been working on this one. This one I might finish today. I've got about 150 pages left on it. Loving it. Wonderful, wonderful book. And then Malice by John Gwynne. I needed an audiobook to read. I had kind of read all the ones for my TBR, and I'd had this one on Audible for a while and started it and kind of got a little confused on names, and so just started back over again, and we're going to read that. So I will check back in with you guys in a little bit on all the books I'm going to read for next month. Whew. One short trip to Costco later, I am back. All right, so books to read that we're adding to the TBR. Obviously, not all of these will get done, especially with the books left to read. But we will start with Victorious, the last book in the Lost Fleet series. I have it right here. This is the final book in the original Lost Fleet trilogy. Then we go into Beyond the Frontier, I believe, is the next series, which we will start in April. But really excited to finally finish the first arc of the first 6 books. This will be great, and I'm excited to get to it, read this really early in the month, kind of put a couple other things that I've been working on aside just to get to this, because I really want to do it, and we'll do this live stream soon. This bad boy is the Presidential Read-Along, Book 2, March 1st. We are starting this. I've actually kind of started it. I am really, really excited to read this. David McCullough did a really good job of 1776, and this one is one that I'm probably going to have done in the first week of this month. I've been working on it, and I am enjoying. He's a very different talesmith than Ron Chernow. Ron Chernow gives you the facts, lays them out, does a pretty good job laying them out. David McCullough kind of tells you a story through his telling of a biography, and I appreciate it. I like it so far. All right, next I have in the bookshelf behind me, it's going to be an audiobook. That'll be Royal Assassin, Book 2 in the Realm of the Elderling series, the Fitz saga. I can't remember exactly what they call his particular first set of books. The Assassin books, I guess, would be what it is. Excited about that one. That's an audiobook, so I'll probably most likely get to it very, very easily. I enjoyed the first one as a reread. I'm probably going to enjoy this one as a reread. If you want to join us in the Discord for all 3 of those are all read-alongs going on in my Discord. Follow the link in the description, and you'll be able to join any of those, or just if you've already read it, or you're just curious about what we're talking about, please join us there. It'll be a lot of fun. Sometimes the Discord is super, super busy. Sometimes it's not. There are some Discords where, man, I just can't keep up. Mine generally is pretty easygoing, and most people enjoy being in there, I think. Next, we have An Echo of Things to Come by James Islington. I read the first book earlier this year, or late last year. I'll link the review for it. I really, really had a good time with this first story. Actually went ahead and found a good deal on Alibris, I think is the name of the website, on this one and the other books that I needed to read in the Babel series, Josiah Bancroft and Sinlin Ascends, the book 2 and 3. I found those. So I've got those books coming. I think I spent about $20 on all 4 of them, and really, really excited to have all those books because I want to read them all. And then I got this one from the library to start, and then when I get the physical copy, I will I'll finish reading on it. But I was just excited. I saw it in the library, and I was like, wow, I can get started early before my book gets here. So next is Chaos Rising. Didn't get to it last month. This is a library book. Hopefully I don't run out of time on this one. I renewed it once already from my library, and I still haven't started it. But hey, I'll get to it, even if I have to take it back and then get it again. But excited about this one. Nobody else is waiting on it, so I don't feel as bad about it. If other people were waiting on it, I would take it back. But currently there's nobody waiting on it. I'm able to check my little thing to see if people are waiting on books. And then the perennial, always waiting on this one, Magpie Coffin. I've really got to read this eventually. I might just break down and buy the audiobook so I can do it while I'm driving. Because really, I've found out that I probably only read about 3 books physically a month on a good month. And then I do the rest in audiobook. So if I have a bunch of audiobooks that I can tap into, I can get a bunch of books read in a month. If I don't have the audiobooks, I feel like I haven't read anything. The Light Fantastic I have right here. This is the second book in Discworld. Really enjoyed The Color of Magic, and I've really enjoyed Mort, which is the one after this one. So trying to get chronologically in order on all of my Discworld books. This one's super short, so it shouldn't be hard. It's even got a crossword puzzle in the back. It is a grand total of 241 pages. So if I actually start reading it, I will finish it. But I need to actually do the starting of the reading it. The next one that I'm doing is The Final Empire, which is book 1 in the Mistborn series. Some places actually call it Mistborn. The book itself is a favorite of mine, and I haven't read it in probably 12 years. So when I do finally finish the Mistborn trilogy for the second third time. Yeah, third time. I will have read everything in the Cosmere within a year, because I think I started reading everything getting ready for Rhythm of War. So I reread all of Stormlight Archive, reread Warbreaker, the whole Arcanium Unbounded. I read Era 2 this year. Anything else that had to be added to that? I don't think so. So when I finally do finish this trilogy, I'm going to have everything reread in the Cosmere in a year. So I'm excited about that quite a bit. And then Alan's channel is doing, was it Feb Rising? But like, I'd already read Red Rising. So February, I skipped that one. March, Golden Sun is the next one. I have not read Golden Sun, so I'm excited to read that one. Finishing up with Gardens of the Moon. And I want to get to Dragonbone Chair. If I run out of things to read, I will read Dragonbone Chair. Just depends how good March goes for me. I don't have anything crazy like a vacation like last month. I don't have a lot of stuff going on with work other than normal stuff. So I should be like, I don't think I'm on call much next month. So I'm excited. I think I can get a bunch of reading done if I just sit down and do it. And then I'm gonna try to film a bunch of videos as well, and kind of make March a better month. With what we have still working, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 books. 6 of those are audiobooks, so I'll definitely get to 6. Probably looking at about 10 of these books I'm actually going to get to this month. And it just really wherever the mood strikes me. I'd love to finish up Gardens of the Moon. Love to finish up 12 Kings of Shankiri so I can work on something else on my Kindle after that. I try to only read one book on my Kindle at a time. And 12 Kings of Shankiri is the one that I'm really focusing on my Kindle on right now. And then I usually have a couple audiobooks going. One a little bit harder, like right now it's Brothers Karamazov, and Malice is kind of my easy one. And then when I finish Malice, I'll go into the Final Empire or Royal Assassin. John Adams will be the one I do right after Brothers Karamazov. So actually, I might start it up again right around March 1st and start talking, or tomorrow, start talking to you guys on the Discord. See how you guys like it, because a couple new people are joining us this month for the John Adams. So I'm really excited to have those people join us. And we will talk to you guys next time. Have fun reading a book, and bye. See ya.